Melody. Battle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Work in Progress Wednesday, which is our work in progress stream that we do on Wednesdays. I'm your host, Modern Pinthicist, otherwise known as Mr. Sink. I'm your host, Modern Pinthicist, otherwise known as Mr. Sink, and I'm joined this evening by the very kind, very generous Will, otherwise known as Tactical D-Bag. You want to say good evening, Will?
Good evening.
Good evening. And I don't know if he's returned yet, but Voices on Silent Shane is also hanging out with us, but he went to get a cup of water. And I think he told me that so that I wouldn't start the stream yet, and I just went started it anyway. And Shane, oh, there he is. Shane?
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back. We're live. Would you like to say good evening to the fine folks?
Good evening, fine folks.
Good evening. Thank you both for joining me tonight. Unfortunately, we are not being joined by Kajan. I think on our last stream we talked about migraines, didn't we? And Kajan is suffering from one, which is the crappiest thing ever. You don't suffer from migraines. So we wish him a speedy recovery. But I may be trying to do a special extra stream this week, because if you're creepy, and I really hope you're not, you might remember that this is the time of year when Brother Pink has his birthday, and in past I have done special streams with Brother Pink where I work on his long-suffering birthday present. He's another person who told me, yeah, finish it whenever, it doesn't matter. Otherwise known as Marigal, otherwise known as Krav Maga. It's a dreadnought for his word bearers force. And yeah, it's got cool stuff, like a crazy bioflail thing stolen from a Tyranid spore mine, and a big sexy plasma cannon, and some biomechanical stuff going on. So yeah, I gotta finish this at some point, but I might wind up streaming with Brother Pink later this week, probably on Saturday morning, or Saturday morning Eastern time, Saturday midday Europe time, Saturday evening Japan time, and he has specially requested that Kajan join the stream, so we'll see if Kajan's able to make it. You might get another crack at Kajan this week. We'll see. And on the last stream, the Creature Conference stream, we celebrated the 4-year anniversary of the Creature Conference. This stream actually started as like an outgrowth of the Creature Conference. It was like the Creature Conference North American stream before we made it its own thing. So I need to go back and check when we made this its own thing, that we can also celebrate anniversaries of.
Yes.
That will be forthcoming. But Shane, Will, how have you been? What have you been up to this week, Hobbyland?
Well, you can go first.
Honestly, life's been hectic here. The last couple weeks, I actually haven't really had too much hobby chances. Of late, this is like the first time in really a couple weeks that I've actually been able to just sit down and do some hobby, get my mind off things, just do stuff that's nice and relaxing, making some shit.
Good.
So, yeah.
Well, you work in the government, don't you?
Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to get into that, but Will works in the government.
No, we don't need to get into the details, but like, use your imagination.
The expression "may you live in interesting times" comes to mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be clear, because I'm in Canada, you guys are in the United States. Will works for the federal government of the United States.
I work generally associated with the government, maybe, perhaps.
We're not going to get into it. We're not going to dox you to Elon's goons or anything like that. Goons, hide goons. Yeah, I'm sorry that your life has been so interesting. I don't think your life should be that interesting. And
I want to live in boring times again.
What?
I want to live in boring times again.
Boring times are good. I think people really don't appreciate how nice boring times can be. But,
I hope that people who are meant to enforce laws start doing that sometime soon, and that things get a little less.
Yeah,
One can only hope.
we'll see what happens. But hobby,
Until
yay!
then, Warhammer stuff. Yay! What are you working on there, Will?
I'm continuing progress on my malefactor thing that I was working on 2 streams ago, I want to say. Just I got these big old beefy arms. I sculpted this last time, so trying to sculpt the other half because, why do something once when you can do it multiple times frustratingly while trying to make some sort of,
Will, that's called training. It's how you get good, buddy.
but it's hard and it's
Yeah.
work.
Well, it's looking
Yeah.
big and beefy. Oh, it also reminds me of my big beefy arms.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, it kind of looks like he's working on the Red Dragon.
Kicking around here. Jane, did you watch the last stream?
I was on the last stream.
No, the last Creature Conference stream.
Oh, no, I did not.
Pretty sure I did all this work on Creature Conference because Hydra was being like, "Oh man, I really like that, and it looks really good."
I'll have to talk to him about keep whispering in your ear about that.
What?
I said I'll have to talk to him about whispering in your ear about that, so you keep working on it.
All right. Well, I will get back to it, but I did dig out an old project.
It is
today.
looking really cool.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I did dig out an old project today, because I was like, whatever happened to that Norn Emissary Alien Queen thing I was making, and I realized it's very close to being finished. So I should go for an easy win. Just finish it off.
I love that thing.
That's what I'm up to. Shane, how has your week been? Hopefully it's been a little less interesting than Will's.
I mean, it's been about as interesting as every American's life has been for the past couple weeks. But hobby-wise, I've been working on some just random Ink 28 stuff, and I also have been working on kind of a craft project where I'm building a resin sanding box because I have a bunch of projects I'm working on that require me to like chop and cut and Dremel resin models, and
Yeah.
that's very toxic
Fun.
and it makes a big mess. And I also, I'm not super environmental freak, but I also don't want to be getting resin dust all over all over outside. So I'm building kind of this like box. It's made out of like a plastic Tupperware container, and it's gonna have like, if you know what a sandblasting box is, it's basically that, but it's essentially just a box with like gloves attached to it, so you can like hold
Cool.
something in a contained box, and then it's going to have like a venting into a shop vac, basically, so I can Dremel inside the box and all the dust will flow into a shop vac.
Nice. Smart.
So been working on building that.
Nice. Hopefully it goes smoothly.
Yes, and then I got some goodies in the mail. I got for those, I don't know if I mentioned this on stream, but I was very lucky and fortunate enough to purchase Hydra's Tyranid cow that he did for June Stealer.
No,
you
were
ago.
jammy and a bastard, because not only did you buy the Tyranid cow, you also bought the fisherman that I wanted.
Yes, I did. If it's any consolation, I do have very specific plans for the fisherman.
Yeah, you better.
I didn't get them just because they were cool. I did have very specific plans for them.
Should hope not.
But Hydra's work is even more incredible in person. It's
Oh yeah, I guess
really
you've never
impressive.
seen it, right?
I have never seen any of Hydra's stuff in person.
Oh, I don't resent you quite so much.
So thank you very much, Simon. It's awesome to have some of your stuff in my collection. And then I also got my promised Baharoth from Mr. Will, which I actually have not opened up yet, but box art wise, he looks really, really cool.
Nice. Thank you, Will, for following through on your part of the bet. I am still trying to coordinate with Kajan because my only means for sending money internationally is PayPal, and apparently he's got some issues with his PayPal, so I'm supposed to look into whether I can like buy the models on his local's website and just like have them ready for pickup for him, but
Hmm.
soon. We'll also be receiving Eldar soon.
So yeah, that's what I've been working on.
Cool. Thanks. I have not been doing a ton of hobby other than working on the Great Red Dragon last Friday on the Creature Conference because I fucked up my leg
Oh no.
and it's not great. I was starting to feel it when I was at like doing the Creature Conference last week, but I just thought it was like a weird muscular thing that was going to pass. And then it got less comfortable on Friday night and Saturday morning. So I went to like a walk-in clinic sort of thing. And they were like, yeah, rest it and put some ice on it. I'm like, okay, cool. And I tried that and it didn't really help. And then it kind of, I don't know if it got worse on Saturday night, but it definitely did not get better. So on Sunday, I went to the hospital and fortunately, like at the
Lucas, is it?
hospital near me, you're able to like book an appointment because like our emergency wait times are like super, super high right now. So I booked an appointment, got in there. They did an ultrasound. They're like, congratulations, you tore a muscle in your calf. And
That happened.
you've got a blood clot in that tear.
Hmm.
And the doctor said, and I quote, it's going to hurt like a bitch for 2 to 3 weeks. I'm like, fantastic.
So that's his medical prescription.
That's his medical opinion, apparently. And it was weird because there was like some confusion because he's like, yeah, don't worry, you got a blood clot in your leg, but it's not the bad kind. Because like, you can have a DVT, like deep vein thrombosis, which is like the kind of blood clots that can like move around your body and go to horrible places like your lungs or your head. And I
Oh.
definitely did not want one of those. And the doctor in the ER was like, yeah, don't worry, you don't have that scary kind. I'm like, great, dodged a bullet.
It's just the horrible, painful one.
I'd rather be in pain than dead. So
That is true.
I'm down with
That is a
horrible,
valid point.
painful one and not dead. But yeah, and then I was like, okay, cool, I'm great. I don't have the deadly one. And then I got a call from my family doctor because they sent her the report of my like visit to the ER. And she's like, "Hey, so what happened on the weekend? You went to the hospital?" I'm like, "Yeah, but it's cool. The guy told me that like I'm fine. I've got a clot, but it's not the scary kind." And she's like, "That's not what I'm reading in the ultrasound report." I'm like, "What?"
Oh no.
So the guy who did the ultrasound report used a voice to text transcriber. And
What?
yeah. So there's
What?
some like it actually says on it like this was transcribed using a program. If you think there might be an error, send us a fax.
Oh no.
So yeah, it was not great. And like I'm very lucky that my cousin is an ER doctor. So I was talking to him about this. He's like, "Hey, can you like send me that report?" So I sent him the report and he looked at it and he's like, "Yeah, this is ridiculous." Because there's a point in the report, my family doctor pointed this out as well, where it said that I have cirrhosis in my leg. And if you've
Hmm.
never heard of cirrhosis
Oh.
before, it's something that happens in your liver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's not
that's
a leg
what?
thing.
Yeah, so the report fully says that I have cirrhosis in my leg. So that was where my cousin was like, this is there's something wrong here. Um and then fortunately, I have someone else in my family who works in healthcare, specifically in like making sure that you can report to hospitals when they screw something up. So they were like, "Yeah, you got to report this to the hospital because they screwed something up royal here." So I just spoke to them today and I'm like, "Hey guys, so I don't know what kind of uh blood clot I have in my leg and I don't know if I should be freaking out. And my doctor's telling me that they're trying to call you guys at the hospital and they can't get in touch with anyone." They're like, "Oh yeah, okay, we'll look into it." So long story short, I can't really walk. I can walk short distances with my dad's really pimpin' cane. Um I can't stand for long periods of time. It's uncomfortable. And it's uncomfortable to lie down because I need to keep my knee propped up and keep my calf from touching anything because it's like if there's pressure on my calf, it hurts. So
Hmm.
Oh.
it's getting better, but it's been an interesting couple of days.
Yeah, I could see that. Adversely affecting pretty much life.
Well, my issue is that like my all my hobby stuff is down in the basement, and like I can walk downstairs, but it takes a long time. That's part of the reason we were late starting, because I was like, I moved all my day job work stuff upstairs, and then but I left like my hobby stuff in the basement. And then I was like agonizing over like, oh, do I stream from like upstairs, but like I don't have my like camera and my mic and all that stuff, or do I stream from downstairs where I don't have my monitor? So like, you know, first world problems. I'm really lucky to have these problems, but it just meant that I had to hobble down the stairs, and that's why I was late starting, because I forgot my friggin' dongle for my mic, and I was like, hey Nora, can you bring that down to me? I forgot it. So, yeah, haven't really been in the basement very much till now.
So wait,
Oh,
did I miss like what was the inciting incident? What
Oh, me
caused
just being an
this
idiot.
muscle
Like,
tear?
I kind of broke the doctor in the ER, because he's like, and how did this happen? Like, when did you feel it start? I'm like, oh, it started intermittently over a number of days. He's like, that's not usually how muscle tears work. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, buddy.
Yeah.
I thought I had a Charlie horse like off and on for like a week. And then from Thursday, it was just on all the time. It wasn't off and on anymore.
you know, kind of had something like that like a few weeks ago where, yeah, like every once in a while I'd walk and then like my calf would just be like Charlie horse ish, and it sucked. But
Well, let me
it
tell
doesn't seem
you,
like.
you should be stretching, because that's what I should have been doing. Apparently, that's
Oh
how you
man,
avoid a muscle tear.
Yeah, I have been stretching like just doing like lunges and stretches, almost borderline inappropriately in places, just everywhere.
Good. Because I'm pretty active normally. Like, I bike to work even in the winter, and then I swim. And like the week before this happened, I biked 10 kilometers on Monday. I swam like 1,000 yards on Wednesday morning. I walked like 12,000 steps on like Tuesday night. So I was like normally active, but I guess I don't know. I had somehow like started injuring myself, and then something in there just like made it worse, and I wasn't stretching. I was just going for it, not warming up properly, and then my leg was like, you shall not pass.
Don't you love aging?
Come again?
Don't you love aging?
Yeah, I know, eh? I actually was just thinking that a buddy of mine was saying he's like 65 and he like just retired this year, but he's like in really good shape. And I'm like, what is your secret? And he's like, creatine. I'm like, what do you mean creatine? He's like, I take creatine regularly. I'm like, why do you take creatine? You're not like a muscle builder. He's like, no, it's not for muscle building. It's not for muscle builders, it's for actual muscle building. Like, as you age, you start to lose muscle mass. So you need to like work to maintain it. And that's one way that you can help work to maintain it. I'm like, okay, maybe I should look into this.
Remember, everybody, don't skip leg day.
Oh no, my problem is arm day, man. I overdo leg day. I got tree trunk legs.
In all seriousness though, if you ever notice like weird medical anomalies just suddenly start happening to you, go get checked out
Yes.
because you know, and I have a good anecdote for that, not for me personally, but my my uncle, he about a week before this happened, he had said that he'd been getting these weird headaches. He didn't know what was causing it. He thought
Oh,
it was like, you know, fall allergies. Um, and he was at church, and after the service, he walked out into the parking lot, and he lost vision and collapsed
oh
in the
god.
middle of the park. And he had a burst brain aneurysm.
Oh no. Wait, did he
And
survive?
amazingly, he, despite being shit, how old was he? He's 72 now, so this was 2019. So, or no, this was 2021. So he would have been like 69, I think. Um, he got sent to Johns Hopkins, and you know, they were able to get his swelling and the bleeding in his brain to stop. And you know, there was a while there for like months where he didn't even recognize most of us. I
Oh
had
my
full
God.
conversations with him where he thought I was my mom.
Wow.
Um, and the doctors were basically like, he's never going to be the same. Um, and 6 months later, he's back to normal. It's like nothing
Amazing.
ever happened.
That's
And they
so
said it was.
lucky.
They said it's effect. Like the doctor who treated him the whole time said it's the most miraculous thing he's ever seen
That is
in
lucky.
his like 30 years of being a doctor.
I am terrified of that kind of stuff. Anything in my head, in my brain, like, because I get headaches normally. So like I'm constantly like, I've got a tumor. I've got a tumor. Like we talk about migraines. I'm like, I clearly have a tumor. Scares the shit out of me. If I could like pay like $1,000 a year to get like some kind of special cancer scan that'll definitely detect cancer, you know, I would be wasting all that money. Because yeah, I'm just terrified of that. And you know, Warp Shadow Forum,
Hmm.
our moderator, accommodator, he died of an aneurysm.
Oh yeah, I mean it's very common, and that's the scary part is it, brain aneurysms are actually very common. Like I think it's something like 20 to 30% of people have brain
Good.
aneurysms. They're only a problem when they burst.
Oh, I see.
Um, and
Just like
my
aliens.
my uncle was fortunate that he had some signs of it before it actually burst. The doctor I think explained it that it was kind of like it was like not quite completely bursting. It was like leaking blood. So his brain was basically lightly bleeding for
Ah,
like a week up until it fully burst.
good lord. Okay.
Um,
Scary, man.
but yeah, so you can like have a brain aneurysm and not even know it, and then one day it could just burst and you drop dead.
Terrifying. Scares the
Yay!
shit out of me.
For those with anxiety, enjoy that information.
Dementia, and aneurysms scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Cancer, a little less, but that too.
At least dementia, you won't know you have dementia after a while.
I mean, for you or for everyone else around you?
Yeah, for everyone else, I think dementia sucks probably worse.
Yay! Uplifting.
Yay! Happy shiny creature comfort. I mean, folks. Hey, let's do a thing. Tom Wilson. I was gonna say Rick Wilson. Rick Wilson is wondering what part of Tom Priestley's. Just kidding. Tom Wilson is wondering what part of Rick Priestley's North American palatial cottage we're coming to everyone live from this week. Has anyone not done it in a while?
I did last week's.
Will, why don't you let us know what part of Rick Priestley's North American cottage we're coming to everyone live from this week?
We're coming live from Rick Priestley's uh fallout bunker.
Well, and why is that, Will?
I don't know, just the feels, the moods.
Because we're living in the darkest
Because
timeline?
he might need it.
Like, why did I get this cottage in America? Why did I think that
Yeah,
was a good idea?
save us, Rick
You'll
Priestley.
Some
you'll
guys down the
know,
road are
Rick
saying they want to
Priestley.
make my
You'll
cottage their
know.
51st state.
No, the 52nd.
No. None
First
of
we
that.
come for Canada, then
None
we
of
come
that
for Rick
shit.
Priestley.
None of that nonsense. We'll not have it on this stream. Apparently you can get 51st state merchandise on Amazon.
Yeah,
Another
that
reason to
sounds
fuck
about right.
Amazon.
This stream brought to you by not Amazon.
Not Amazon. Definitely not Amazon. This stream brought to you by the fine folks at Fenris Workshop, selling everything to Canada and everything but brand new Games Workshop models to the United States. They're cool. Check them out. They do a lot for the stream. And they just sent me a well, they didn't send me. I just bought, using my like funky rune points that they do, a box of Eldar Guardians and a copy of Ushoran, the Mortarch of, I don't know, what's he called? Dreams? Evil? Stuff?
Delusion,
Delusion, thank you.
I
Ushoran, the
think.
Mortarch of Delusion. I just got those two tasty kits, and they cost me $16 because I paid for them all with my token rune things. So thanks, Fenris.
How much is that in not metric units?
What? $16 dues?
I'm really just being like a dumb American.
$16 dues is probably about
really not
$12
like
American
indulge,
right now. I don't know.
really need to not indulge me in my stupidity.
Oh, I love indulging stupidity, Will. Don't you worry.
We're gonna get a lot of that. So
Yeah, what's everyone else been up to hobby-wise this past
Yeah,
week?
good question. Oh, yeah. Shane, are you able to take a spin through the chat, or I don't know what you're
oh
doing right
yeah.
now?
Check. Let's see.
Actually, I'm going to get up and walk on the spot because apparently I'm not supposed to stay sitting for too long.
Let's see. When did it
Or
actually
hobble
start?
on the spot.
This stream brought to you by...
Radon says, Godspeed working in the government, Will.
Thank you.
Diana saying, wishing you and Kajan swift recoveries. I'm assuming that's applying to you, Mr. Pink. I think these Fook and Ouch, I'm assuming, are reactions to injuries from Tom and Mr. Dan Kaplinger. Diana said, trying to explain to everyone in A&E that my knee dislocated on the dance floor of a nightclub, but I was sober, standing still, and hadn't been dancing.
Oh my god.
Diana, you need to drink some milk.
Look, you know the beats were hopping when like even the people who aren't dancing break
Yeah,
their legs.
drop the bass. There's a noise marine in that dance floor.
Drop the bass and blow out someone's knee? Gee.
Dan Kaplinger already had a fight with cancer 20 years ago. Not much left to fear.
Congrats.
Sorry to hear that, Dan. Glad you made a full recovery.
Sorry, Dan, that's terrible.
Radon, my uncle had to have his leg amputated because of a mix of blood clots and nerve damage.
Yes.
To make a long story short, don't do drugs.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom Wilson, there's a British film called 51st State starring Samuel Jackson, and it was filmed in our city.
I think I vaguely remembered that, and I
Is that
remember
about
it
the UK
looking...
becoming the 51st state?
I think it was just a dumb action film, and I think it looked really dumb at the time, and I think that it hasn't changed in quality since.
Radon has been working on his Biotitan.
Ooh.
His, her, I'm not sure of Radon's gender. Or other. Him, her, or other. Diana spent today babysitting 3 of my sister's children to my brain, so my brain isn't working. Yep, I know that feel. There was a snow day today, and I had to balance a very busy day at work with watching the child. So I know that feel. My brain's pretty drained as well.
I got a partial snow day, so I got to up on my yard for about an hour and change, and then I got to go to work. Yay!
Oh, fun. Technician Sourwell. I'm not familiar with them.
Hey, Technician
Welcome to
Sourwell.
Texas.
Welcome back.
Welcome. He says, or they say, I got sucked into Inquisitor 54mm this week. Unwise purchases were made. Awesome.
There are worse
it.
holes you can drown yourself in.
I was disappointed when that game got like discontinued because those models were dope as shit.
They were. I'm glad that the game kind of got revived by the Ink 28 community, but it won't bring back the models, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
They're actually pretty reasonable price-wise in the aftermarket, though.
Really?
Still?
Huh.
Oh,
Yeah, still.
okay.
Like Certain ones are rare and harder to find and tend to be more expensive.
Like the gene stealers,
Being the gene stealer.
Yeah,
the
I
crew.
have not seen the Gene Stealer in a long time. I think the one I bought off of eBay was the last one I've seen, and that was like a
It's
year
pretty
and a half
ugly.
ago.
It's not like, I mean,
It
you
is.
want to
It
collect it if you're
is.
completist, but that's pretty much the only reason.
The body, um, and the legs are good. I really like the body and the legs. I actually kind of want to use it in a conversion.
There was a time when
Um,
I wanted to make a patriarch out of it a long time ago.
I actually think it would be great for that. I would just like not use the arms or the head.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's yeah, actually in my unreleased collection, some of the few Tyranid unreleased models I don't have are bits and pieces from Inquisitor. There's some Gene Stealer cult um, stuff that was never released for
Was it
Inquisitor that
cultist?
I do not have.
Like there's a gene stealer cultist for Ink 28 or Ink 54?
Yeah, yeah, there is.
Realize.
I actually think there was a Gene Stealer cult model that was released, but it was like released. I think it was mail order.
Yeah.
Um, but there's also some unreleased like bits and pieces. I think they were like it was like an accessory kit, so like you could use it to modify other Ink 54 models.
Yeah.
And then I think there's also, if I recall correctly, there's also a full size Gene Stealer that's different than the one that was officially released.
Yes, it's even uglier.
Yes, but
The
I
one that
still
was
want it.
released is the good one.
Was it sculpted by Mark Bedford? Mark Bedford's responsible for a lot of the non-Just Goodwin third edition Tyranids. So old
Oh,
Rennie
right.
McGrin
Okay.
face, and I mean he does have the Alien Queen crest tyrant from third edition,
Yep.
but I think he's also responsible for the ugly orc biovore. I don't know if he did the Ravner, which if he did the Ravner, he almost kind of redeemed himself with that model alone, in my opinion. I think he might have also done the original Tyrant Guard, which design-wise was cool. Execution,
Not the best. Mark
Although
Bedford's a good sculptor. He's
I was
just
gonna say, like,
not
I
a
think
good
that
Tyranid sculptor.
he might have done some of the new Tyranids.
Well,
Um,
he I feel like like conspiracy theory, but I think the Tyranid release was like the third edition Tyranid release had some I think like release date like crunch shenanigans going on because some of the models just look really rushed and unfinished.
I could believe that just because production times, just in any company.
one sec.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. So hold on, I'm just trying to look up something about Mark.
Oh, he worked for Privateer Press for a bit for doing work for War Machine, Warma
Be
Hordes.
curious what he did for Warma Hordes because not all their models were great either.
They were so goddamn inconsistent.
They were very inconsistent. Some of the models were like absolutely incredible, like some pretty
The
iconic, I think, now sculpts.
like
Um,
the Archangel, Legion Archangel remains like one of the best models they've ever produced.
honestly,
Um,
most of the Legion stuff is great.
except for the infantry.
Yes, all the infantry was horrible. Um, Mostly because I feel like the Incubi should have been kind of the template for what the Everblight infantry should have looked like in general,
Pretty much, yeah.
and instead they're just like kind of weird elves, but not cool weird elves, just weird elves. Um, but yeah, some of the really, I think in general, Warma Horde's sculpts, it tended to be the infantry that was the the problem for most of the factions.
And I think it's just because of the scaling and the size.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it,
I'm just checking some stuff. I'm pretty sure Mark Bedford did unless there was another Mark working at Games Workshop right now. Mark Bedford did a lot of the there's that article in White Dwarf where they talk about the new Tyranid models. And I'm pretty sure Mark Bedford did a lot of the work on them. The new ones,
Huh.
like new. And I think Mark Bedford may have also done the Norn Emissary.
He redeems himself from
well,
the third edition debacle.
Because
I
I was
mean, I think it also helps to do stuff in 3D, in 3D software, as opposed to like, you know, actual practical uh,
yeah.
sculpting. He
That's
might have a better knack for sculpting in
Also, he was
that
probably like
medium.
new when he did the Tyranids, and I think that I remember reading somewhere or hearing from Jess that like he was supposed to do more of the Tyranids, but because they didn't really plan for how long doing the plastics was going to take, um, I think Mark Bedford got handed them like last minute, like, hey, so can you finish up these guys? And he's like, I guess so. He
Yeah,
sculpted a
that's
lot
kind
of
of
different Tyranids
how it
very quick.
looks. What else has Mark Bedford done? I know he's done a lot of stuff. Let's see. Let's see what iconic models he's done. Uh, Apparently he's done a lot of the Blood Bowl models,
Pretty good.
the newer Blood Bowl stuff.
Where
Yeah,
Blood Bowl's real good.
generally pretty good stuff there. Yeah.
Rip them off for some conversions.
Trying to find. Apparently, a number of the Mechanicum stuff from Forge World was done by Mark Bedford.
Okay.
Um,
Where are you
Actually, he's
finding
done
this?
a lot of Forge World Horus Heresy stuff.
Where are you finding this?
Well, I just looked up Mark Bedford sculpts, and I'm finding various links of people who have.
Good.
He actually did a number of the 54 millimeter stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
cool.
funny enough,
Looping right back
including the
around.
Maybe
Kroot.
maybe he just works better in larger scales.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, apparently he did the Barbgons,
Oh shit.
the new ones.
Nice.
Super light.
But again, I think working in a digital medium allows you to like have the effect of working on something large
Oh, good point.
rather than sculpting in traditional sculpting media.
Me, I
Analog,
just work
if
on
you
large things because I'm a hack and I don't do digital.
digital is fun, it just definitely a different set of different skill set in a way, and you just kind of need to want to be in front of a screen for long periods of time.
I need to plug in my
Which
table
isn't to
lamp
say
because
that,
I
you know, the
cannot see
rest of
shit.
us who work desk jobs aren't in front of a screen for long periods of the day, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think that's part of, at least for me, why I'm kind of okay working in traditional sculpting media, just because I am in front of a desk all day
Yeah.
long. So just kind of
Point.
being able to have decreased screen time during hobby time is kind of nice.
I'd agree with that.
And to a certain extent, I'd argue that there's something, uh, and I know this is kind of just a personal way that my brain works. I viscerally think I work better when I have direct kind of control contact with the medium that I'm working with, kind of why I haven't really ever gotten into uh, digital illustration media,
Yep.
even though I do have like a pen tablet display that I can use for drawing with, uh, just digitally completely.
Yep.
I still essentially, given the opportunity, I will much rather prefer drawing with pen paper, pencil paper in any
Mhm.
situation.
Can empathize with that.
But each their own. Not going to disparage people making stuff with their preferred media, except for dirty, dirty painters.
Dirty, dirty
Making,
painters?
yeah, I don't know. That's just me throwing in shade for absolutely no discernible reason
Nice.
and completely unwarrantedly.
We'll get some painter in the comments who's like, "You can't say that about the painters.
What's
How
your
dare
painting
you?"
look like? It looks like plain unpainted plastic. That's what my painting looks like. Haha, got you back.
Who paints? You don't paint in this hobby.
Yeah.
Just build shit and then buy shit and then don't build it.
And sometimes don't build the shit we buy and just buy more shit.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, you buy it. You sometimes you build it. Sometimes it sits in the box for 10 years.
My
Don't
hobby
tell me how to do
isn't
my hobby.
my hobby isn't making stuff. My hobby is buying stuff with the intent to make stuff.
Hobby is
Yeah,
acquiring things and sometimes making things.
I was actually talking to Weird Witticism. If you're familiar with his work,
Yep.
Oh
I was
yeah.
talking to him the other day. And I was kind of 'cause I did that commission with him for that character from Triptych 28, and I'm kind of cooking another one with him.
Mm.
And I was like giving him some of my ideas, and he was like, "You're an idea machine." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's pretty much the thing I do with this hobby. I just come up with lots of ideas and then never do anything with them."
And work with other people
Yeah, and then
to
get other
pursue those
people to do my
ideas.
ideas.
Hey, kind of like that conversation we were having in the Discord the other day, uh, about the random shit that I doodle up and post up in our concept sketch thing.
Yeah.
I have more ideas than I really have time or the gumption to execute in, actual media. So,
Well, you give us good ideas, and then maybe somebody else can execute them.
hey,
Yeah. Share
I
and share
have given,
alike.
I have told people they are free to do so if they want. Oh my god.
So I made the cardinal sin of pinning.
What's that?
I pinned through the other side of the thing I was pinning.
Into your hand?
Oh no.
No, like I just made a hole on the opposite side of
Oh,
the
I do that all
thing.
the
So now
time.
I've
That's
gotta
why we have
now I gotta
putty.
cover up the hole with putty. And with this little detail, this model will be done. I can finally call him finished.
Yay.
It's the bell guy. I've just been putting off doing this
Ooh.
this freaking gap filling just because I hate gap filling.
Boring.
That feeling is kind of the worst.
It is the worst. I hate it. But like, if you don't do it, then your model
People
looks
will
like shit.
notice all
So,
of the issues.
yep,
They will judge you.
yep. I will judge myself even if nobody else does.
I
Everybody
mean,
says nobody's gonna notice, nobody's gonna judge you. It's like,
Yeah, you can
yeah,
judge
I
yourself
know a
though.
guy. His name is Shane,
Yeah.
and he is gonna judge me.
We're the worst at judging ourselves, definitely.
yeah, I'll judge the shit out of both of you guys.
Thanks, Will.
That's
That's
that's why we have you here,
friendship
Will.
and support.
You're really looking out for us, buddy.
This is the kind of stalwart support I need from my friends.
Stalwart, good word.
Earned that nickname handle for nothing.
What?
Tactical D-bag nickname.
Oh, right. Tactical deep. The thing I'm never
Remember,
sure if I'm
folks.
supposed to call you it or not.
I mean, that's up to like how much YouTube cares and how much they want to demonetize you for the name.
I don't think D-bag is demonetizable.
I have no idea what the rules are.
That probably ranks under, there's like abbreviated. When I have to like so fun fact, if you're seeing ads on a live stream, that's not me, man. Because I don't turn on the monetization on these things until they go to VOD. Because the people who come to the live stream are our real friends. And when I turn on the monetization, they ask me, they're like, oh, like, is there swearing in this? And I'm always like, oh, abbreviated. So I think that D-bag counts as abbreviated swearing.
Man, it's not like we bring up my username like with frequency.
Well, we do say it in like the first like 10 seconds of 30 seconds of the video, so that might be
I guess technically it's on the screen the entire time.
Oh. Yeah, it is. But shoved in with tactical. They can't parse that.
I don't think the AI is smart enough to
YouTube is so
understand.
inconsistent with its enforcement of its rules that, like, I think even if you did nothing wrong, there's still a chance that you'd get hit for something.
Yeah, I just try to not worry about it.
The only way
That
that
sounds like
you're
something I can't
that you're
control.
is if you have like 1 billion subscribers and like YouTube basically doesn't apply the rules to you at that point.
Or no, I think also like I think sometimes they enforce more on people.
It depends. It's very political. It's very like not like politically like politics, but like they either they have to know a guy, you know.
What?
There are
Yes,
certain like creators that get away with more than others, like i.e. like Mr. Beast can do no wrong. YouTube is it doesn't matter what Mr. Beast does, YouTube is never going to ban him.
Because he just keeps feeding them some sweet, sweet subscribers.
Yeah, I mean the guy's rich enough to buy TikTok. Like
He's rich enough to buy TikTok? Come on.
he's in talks to buy TikTok. Yes.
No, come on. Wow.
Yes, Mr. Beast is filthy, stinking rich.
Good
he's so
golly,
rich.
Miss Mo-
I think it's like him and I don't think he's solo buying it. I think he's entering a joint venture with the creator of Roblox to
Oh.
buy.
Yeah, that's some money.
Well,
so-
but like ByteDance has to want to sell first, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean, hey, you know, it's kind of like I keep saying that every once in a while I get a letter in the mail from a realtor saying that
Oh yeah.
you know, whether or not I'm willing to entertain some offers on my house.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't plan on moving, but like there is a certain point where you know if the money is like dummy high,
Mhm.
like I'll entertain it. I mean, it's not going to be market value, and nobody in their right mind will entertain my
Yeah, like I can't be
entertaining
bought,
level.
but if you give me $1 billion, you know.
It's like, oh, like yeah,
That's a good
like yeah,
price.
my mores have suddenly been shifted.
I'm having a what is it? A crisis of morality. Whatever will I do? Okay, give me the money.
Oh, sweet. Mausoleum, our good friend,
Hey,
has some
Mausoleum.
comments on I think YouTube and monetization. Apparently, if you don't swear in the first 2 minutes, you can pretty much say whatever.
Oh, great. So we say tactical D-bag in the first 2 minutes. Well, you got to change your name.
Apparently, D-bag is in the same level as Poopy Head. Sweet. That is definitely what I've been aiming for all of my life. Eric Christensen's here. Good evening.
Got it? Oh, Eric. Hey, Eric. How's it going, buddy? Good to see you.
Man, this is a Am I
Long-time friend of
weirdly?
the stream. Haven't seen him recently. Hope everything's going
Not
well in
gonna,
your part of America land.
not gonna lie, this has been a weirdly productive stream night. This is like the third extra batch of
What's
putty
that?
that I've actually had. This is the third batch of putty that I've had to like mix up for this evening.
Third batch of putty that you've had to what?
Mix up.
Oh, because you're going like
Like,
stink?
yeah. Like this old fella here. Uh,
TDB acronym.
oh,
TDB acronym.
that would be an acronym for my name, probably.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
To be determined.
Oh yeah, 2D determined. I like it.
Yep, that's the correct sentiment, Eric, right? It's America, so ha 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 ha.
Yeah, we did talk about that earlier. Oh, also, because Mausoleum's joining us now, Mausoleum, you missed the part where I talked about how I bought Ushoran Mortark of Delusion from our good friends over at Furnace Workshop. I got some plans. We'll see if they materialize. Here's hoping.
We've all got plans,
The
Nick.
plans are definitely not death or death. What are they called? Gardens of Death, Death Eaters,
Soul Blight,
Flesh Eaters, Soul Blight,
Flesh Eater Court,
Soul Court Eaters of
Flesh Eater
Death,
Corpse.
Dark Red Light. Flesh Eater Corpse, thank you. Definitely not Flesh Eater Court plans, but possibly other plans with the big boy.
Whatever happened to that one gigantic patriarch you were working on that had like the giant feet?
It's still around.
I like that model. You should work on that
I
model.
want it to be done soon. You want me to work on that? Oh, should I get the red dragon out of here and pull that boy out?
No, after the red dragon. Then work on that guy, because that guy's cool. No, actually, after the red dragon, finish Hell. Hell was the whole reason
Oh
I wanted
man,
the
you
red
had to
dragon.
bring her up, didn't you?
I mean, she was the reason I got the red dragon
I
commission.
sold out my girl Hell for dollar bills, and now you got to bring her up like that. Finish Hell. That wasn't even the cards for this year. Holy toot.
I can't even talk. The dominatrix has been work
Yeah,
in
finish the
progress since
dominatrix, Shane.
2010.
Oh fuck! Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
That
It's not 2
reminds me.
minutes.
I haven't. I really desperately need to finish my base potato slash tyrannocyte that I started.
I was gonna say
Pandemic.
that's like your creature conference project. I feel like you were working on that when you first got onto Instagram.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I think that was like the second or third thing I really started working on. Once I joined Insta, and it's where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. It's lying on its back, just being sad and giving me shame.
Shame. Shame. Okay, this is bothering me. I can't find this one particular sculpting tool that I really like using. I can't find it, and I'm having to use one that I'm not as big a fan of. And it's not working as well as I would like it to. Give me one moment. I'm going to
Sure.
do a little look around.
Going on a quest.
Yes.
Oh, cool! And the finding that like right sculpting tool that like just works just right and has just like the right feel. It's always kind of rough. I know we were kind of having a talk about this a couple of weeks, maybe a week or two back about like sculpting tools and me having to bring some random crap to Adepticon.
Oh
But
yeah.
this is the sculpting tool that I got like over a decade and a half ago, and I'm pretty sure it was like a Games Workshop sculpting.
Is it? I've never seen that one.
Or Army Painter. I don't remember exactly what, but it's kind of like
Double-sided blade.
Sort of. It's a spreader blade, but if
Also rounded, right?
tell. Yeah, it's rounded up, so
Ooh,
it's actually like
that looks like a spoon tool mated with a
yeah,
Lacron
right.
wax carver blade, and that looks very pleasing to me.
Yeah, it's actually like single-handedly one of my favorite tools, and I have yet to re-find anybody who makes anything like this. So if I ever lose this
That's
tool,
scary,
I'm
man.
going to be a sad boy.
That's
Um,
that's how I feel about this spoon tool that I stole from Brother Pink when I first started sculpting. I've got one. So yeah, this is my favorite spoon tool that's like got like the perfect curved spoon on it, and I use it a lot.
oh, oh
Maybe
yeah, that
for
does look
organic stuff
nice.
and just like spreading putty apart around in general. But I was on a quest, and I may have found its replacement at a
Ooh.
dental tool store. Gotta buy more of these. It's very pleasingly curved as well. It might be even more pleasingly curved than my original one. It's slightly larger, but it also has another end on it, which is a similarly pleasingly curved tiny little spoon, who's got a little bit of a point to it. And maybe I should use that tool right now. So yeah, this is a St. Louis. I had it on the. Go watch if you're interested. Go watch the last Creature Conference stream. I talked about it. It's a St. Louis 7A something or other dental tool, and it's very nice.
Nope, it's just fucking gone. I don't know where the hell it is.
You'll
Good
find it
thing
in
we're not in the
2 months
first 2
when you least
minutes.
expect it.
Yeah,
Hey Shane, you got any Space
it's
Marines
around
around?
here somewhere. Say again?
Got any Space Marines around?
Uh, do I have any Space
Just throw a
Marines
Space
around?
Marine, man. That's the best way to find something you lost. They'll probably land in the
I
same
actually
place.
do, but it's not my Space Marine, so I can't throw it.
Wait, you're caring for other people's Space Marines? Did you get your kids Space Marines?
I told my brother that I would sculpt a beard on one of his Space Marines.
Why does he need beard on Emperor's Children?
He's working on a small force of like a kill team of what are the sad
Space
boys?
Wolves.
Baseball,
They've got
N-
beards. They're
No,
Space
the
Wolves.
Living
sad
Guard,
boys.
Living
The
Guard.
lamenters.
Oh,
Oh,
wait, they got beards?
I'm gonna say.
Well, no, he just wants this one to have a beard.
Oh,
I don't think the
not
Space
my
Wolves have a
Marines.
monopoly on beards.
They do. Have you ever seen Valbjorn? Space Wolves
I
have a
try not
monopoly
to
on
look at
beards.
Valbjorn stuff because it just makes me depressed at my lack of skill in
I can
comparison.
understand that. He's a really nice guy though.
He is a nice guy. He's I
Is he
like that
supposed to be
he's
at
become so
Adepticon?
big, but he still responds to comments.
Was that Will?
Is he supposed to be showing up at Adepticon?
Yeah, he's the one who encouraged me to do my sculpting session. He's got his own session going on. And I asked him, what did I ask him? I asked him a question about like STLs or something like that, or if people ever like ask him like, are you gonna make an STL of this, or like, and he gave a very like thoughtful response that I really appreciated. He actually like recorded like a voice memo, talked about like how stuff, and it was very sweet.
Are you going to tell us what he said, or is it more of a private
Well,
thing?
no, it's a personal thing. I don't want to like.
I got you.
He sent me a voice memo. Like it's yeah. But I think that he is like of a mind with us, and like when Will talks about like wanting to do things in a physical medium versus like a digital medium. Although I feel like
Right.
he was way more like deep and philosophical about it than I am.
You just make meme
Man,
videos about it.
I just make what?
I mean,
Meme
I'm just like,
videos, the Sculptron videos.
Hey, Mausoleum told me I'm not to make any more Sculptron videos because they're cringe.
They are a little cringe.
Hey,
I'm just
next one's gonna be about you,
I'm your
Shane.
buddy,
Next
Nick.
one's gonna be about you,
I'm
buddy.
your buddy. I'm just letting you know.
Hope you're ready. Hope you're ready for it, because the next one's gonna be about you. It's gonna be a sick diss track from Sculptron 9000.
Oh God, I think
And then
that's
they're
even
gonna
more.
they're gonna ask me to do the Super Bowl. And I'm gonna so Sculptron's gonna perform the diss track at the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, like
It'd be
Kendrick
amazing.
Lamar.
Way to ruin the joke.
Okay, I found a tool that's kind of working, but I
Oh,
wanted the
not.
flexible tool. This is like a metal dental tool.
This is annoying. I'm trying to match like how I sculpted the carapace on this side to how I sculpted the carapace on this side, but when I repositioned these Norn emissary fins, I did not reposition them the same on both sides. But it's
Every
my
single
rule
time I
that
sculpt carapace, I have that problem.
well,
I
it's
can
my
never
rule that like
match.
no one can ever look at both sides of the model at the same time. So they're never going to be able to really compare them unless it's in
Except
pictures.
for Just Goodwin. Just know that Just Goodwin deep inside be very disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm
Him and
sorry,
his
Jets.
perfect symmetry.
I'm sorry, Jets.
We're all sorry, Jess. This is why we hide in Rick Priestley's bunker.
Yep. It's not for the nuclear weapons. It's for hiding
Shane.
from Just Goodwin.
Oh, but yeah, like on the whole like Mark Bedford thing, why I think he did the Norn Emissary is that I made that Lictor Norn Emissary for my buddy Josh that I finished recently. And I was sending pictures of it to the designer who made the Lictor at Games Workshop because exchanged some messages with him in the past just to be like, hey, I was really inspired by your Lictor. Here's what I made inspired by it. He was like, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to have to show Mark. That's cool. Mark Bedford might have seen my giant Lictor thing. Hope he liked it.
Nice.
I hope that's not a euphemism.
Yeah.
What?
Just me being
You
churlish.
can't
Don't
just go
worry.
showing people your giant Lictor thing.
Hey, easy there. Oh, Will, you know how you made that joke about, like, Nora bringing me my microphone dongle?
Yeah.
She literally came down here and started dongling it around like it was a dongle. And I'm like, wow, how appropriate.
He's never
I just
used
find
that
it
word
hilarious
as a
that
verb.
dongle is the technical term for that device.
Yeah, you're right. What was that, Will?
He's never used the term dongle as a verb.
Oh
Never
yeah,
use
I
the
use
term
dongle
dongle
at
as
work.
what?
Yeah, like
A
a
dongle.
yeah. Dongle is a technical term.
Dongle is a noun. It's not a verb, though, is it?
Also a noun now.
Oh, a verb? No, I don't know about being a verb. It
It's
should
a
be if it's
verb
not.
and a noun. I think different meanings, though.
If it's not a verb, it should be.
Dongling about your protonid to make everyone feel bad.
Yes.
That's a
I saw a
Flynnism.
post about that bothered me earlier this week, actually, while we're talking drama.
Talking drama.
There's a guy, I forget his name. I'm not gonna call him out by name, but because I like him. He follows me, I follow him. And he's like a collector of a lot of like old Hammer stuff.
Yeah.
And he's always posting like old Hammer stuff. And he recently posted that somebody gave him a recast Protonid, and I couldn't help but be annoyed by it because like one thing that was really nice about the Protonid in terms of like the old
Wait,
Hammer
can this
collecting
dude afford
space
a
is
real protonid?
I don't know. I don't know him that well. But what bothered me about it is that, there are certain miniatures in the like unreleased and old Hammer collecting space that are pretty commonly recast. Like they're models where there are a number of recasters who have molds of that
Like
model.
what? Or can you not
A lot
say?
of the squats are very commonly recast. A lot of the unreleased Space Marine stuff is pretty commonly recast. Also, a lot of the confrontation, unreleased confrontation Necromunda stuff is pretty commonly recast.
Okay.
But the Protonid, when I talked to Jason, he's like, to his knowledge, there aren't any Protonid recasts in common circulation. Like there's no well-known recasters that have molds of the Protonid that are constantly selling them.
Yeah.
Like there are with some other miniatures. And like when I just heard that somebody had made a mold of the original Protonid and gave away a recast, it just, I don't know, it just bothered me because I'm like, well, now that exists, and like
Wait,
now there's the possibility that somebody could be recasting it and selling it. Now, luckily, the guy did make it in resin. He didn't recast it in metal, so obviously, if you see a resin Protonid, you know it's not real.
but question, Shane, do you own a pewter protonid?
I do.
So you are of the, I don't know, collector class who could afford a protonid.
Yes.
This is reminding me of an exchange that these fountain pen dudes had. Okay, it's gonna come back to this. Don't worry. Give me a second. I'm gonna tell a bit of a story here. So fountain pens. Fountain pens are a thing. I got really into them in the pandemic. It was a problem. I basically took the money that I would spend on Warhammer, spent it on fountain pens instead. And I mean, pretty problem to have. Good writing, but I really love Japanese fountain pen. Like my favorite fountain pen is a Pilot. Like Pilot fountain pens, I really like their nibs. I think they're really good. They're my fave. But Pilot is a Japanese company. They sell some of their stuff in the United States, but it's not easy to get in the United States. And there is this company. I won't say their name because they've done like some kind of like dubious practices or whatever about how they sell their fountain pens, but they basically make Japanese fountain pens accessible. Like there's a number of Japanese fountain pen brands, Pilot, Sailor, Platinum, that you can get them from North American retailers. There's a markup because they got to import them from Japan. And yeah, these guys basically make them a little more accessible. And they'd ship them internationally from Japan, this company. And they got good deals. And there's some questions in the fountain pen community about how they got good deals, if they were like lying about their business to the supplier or something, or blah, 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 blah. But these guys on this fountain pen podcast were sitting there talking about how if you really are serious about fountain pens, you will not buy fountain pens from this company because they have these dubious practices, blah, 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 blah. Except the guys on this podcast live in Japan. Like they live in Japan. They can just like walk down the street to like 15 fountain pen stores where they can get all these fountain pens that you can't get in North America very easily. So it really pissed me off because I'm like, yeah, it's okay for you guys to say that because like you're in Japan and you got easy access to these pens all the time. Like I'm living in Canada. I can't get pens from Japan the way that you can. And they're like, oh, just go to these websites that are all in Japanese and have no English parts. Yeah, just like, figure it out, like get good, whatever. So anyway, how I'm trying to relate this back to the Protonid is that like you have a Protonid. Flynn has a Protonid. I have a Protonid because Flynn got me a Protonid. But if I really wanted to save some money, I could probably afford a Protonid. So we can get access to it. And though I understand that like someone recasting it like decreases the value of that, there is an explanation where this person recasting the Protonid makes it more accessible to people who could never hope to afford to buy the original. And it might be a little rich of those of us who have the means to buy the original, because there's very few originals out there and the price is just going to keep going up. It might be a little rich of us to be like, I don't get those from that guy. Save up a lot of money to get a real one. You know what I'm saying? There's something to consider.
Yes, I understand the discussion of it's an unreleased model that very few people have ever been able to get a hold of, and I understand that it's a popular model and a lot of people want to get a hold of it. However, and I also agree that artificial scarcity is cancer in any collecting community. I hate when like companies release, oh, this limited edition FOMO, model that's only going to be at this convention, and if you don't get it now, you're going to have to pay 6 times the price on eBay later on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think there is something to be said about the value in the community of collectors and like how just recasting something and then selling recasts devalues the overall value, not just fiscally but also like there's no sense of like, oh, cool, I finally got this model that I've been trying to get in my collection for years, knowing that everybody and their brother has a recast of it, or I could be spending authentic money getting a recast of it. Because recasts nowadays have gotten pretty good that unless you really know what you're looking for,
You're not gonna
you
spot
won't
them.
probably be able to tell in an eBay listing if something is recast. You're gonna have
Yeah.
to have gotten it in your hand and really looked at it.
Yeah.
I sympathize with people who like, and I've been tempted. There are models that are like old Forge World models that I really want, that like I could easily get recast, but I just don't. It wouldn't for me have the same sense of like as a miniature collector, not just as a hobbyist.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it just I think it's disrespectful to the people who actually collect miniatures as a hobby. Um, I think it's and I think it creates kind of a slippery slope too, with like if people are profiting off of collectors by charging authentic prices selling a recast model. And that is a thing. That
Okay,
that is
that
something
sounds
that
a little
actively
sketchy.
happens
Like
in
if
the
someone's
community.
selling a recast, they shouldn't be charging authentic. I'm less into that. People charging
Yeah,
authentic.
exactly. I mean, one very common scam is people will sell like, oh, here's this model. It's been painted or primed. You just have to strip it. And the reason they
Sketchy.
prime it or paint it is to cover up the fact that the metal's a different color, or that it's resin,
That's
or
creepy.
that, yeah, that's a very common practice in the recasting community.
Okay.
And the other thing is that like nowadays with 3D printing existing,
Yeah.
I know I think it was Hydra or somebody. I know Hydra shared it, but like somebody did a pretty accurate STL of the protonid. I'm much more for that. Like
Yeah.
if somebody wants to make like recreations of out of production models or out of print models that like are available as STLs that people can 3D print themselves, I think that's great. I think that's a really good use of 3D printing.
Yeah.
I know we've had this discussion on the Discord before regarding like reproduction of official models in STL form. I can somewhat more, I'm against that in terms of
Uh,
like official models that are like you can readily buy in the store. But if it's like an out of production protonid that hasn't been available for 40 years or was never really available, and somebody created, an STL of that, I'm less bothered by that than somebody taking an actual model and recasting it. I'm just not for that. I just don't think it's. I think it's a slippery slope in a way. Though I can sympathize with why some people would do it and why somebody would be happy if somebody gave them a recast of that model. It gives them a chance to get that model in their collection, even if
yeah.
it isn't an original piece. Um,
And you have proven how much you practice what you preach by giving me a perfectly good recast Forge World Trigon
yes,
because you just didn't
I bought
want
that
it
model
because it was
thinking it was
recast.
authentic.
Huh?
And that was an example of somebody who did not list that model was recast. And maybe they didn't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't even know it was recast and they when they sold it. But I
How did you
paid
know?
non-recast. I paid authentic Forge World Trigon prices for a recast Forge World Trigon.
How did you know it was recast?
As soon as I cut into it, I knew it was.
Okay.
For like most of these recast resins, especially China cast, have an absolutely putrid chemical
Oh,
smell
I've
when
been
you cut
there.
into them.
I've been there with my recast Trigon, oh, Turvagon that I got for cheap.
Yeah, and so like it's a pretty like with recast resins, that's like, and for anybody out there who's wondering if your model is recast buying it on eBay, this is one of the main checks you can do. Is, yeah, if you cut into it, like cut into a little piece of the sprue gate or something, and if it smells horrible like chemicals, if it smells like you're gonna get cancer, it probably isn't real Forge World.
Yeah.
Resin color is not really something you can reliably detect because Forge World's used all different kinds of resin colors over the years. Sometimes you'll get an official resin kit. I've gotten Forge World kits where the kit itself had different components in different colors of resin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so oh, actually, on that topic though, I did just win an auction for uh Forge World Trigon off of eBay,
Oh,
and this one
congrats.
I know is
Ooh.
authentic because it comes in the original packaging.
Nice.
Ooh.
Cool.
So yeah, that's just my little rant about recasts and I guess the
The more
moral
you know.
efficacy of collecting them. But like I didn't make a big deal about it with the guy's post. I was just kind of like, I hope whoever I told him, this is pretty much what I said verbatim. I was like, I hope whoever gave you that isn't selling these recasts. And that's true. You know, like I'm not gonna impose my opinion on recasts on you.
Yeah.
If you don't mind having a recast model, that's on you. That, you know, that's fine. If that's what you want, cool. But I will like forever call out people who sell recast models. I don't think that that's ever okay, personally.
At original price.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I don't think selling recasts in general is okay, but especially if you're selling them at official prices. If you're trying to be deceitful.
Anors. Duplicitous.
What was
Yes,
that, Will?
duplicitous.
I'm just saying dumb words because
But I'll get off my soapbox.
I might have to call this soon. My leg is acting up. It's supposed to like not sit like a desk bound posture, and I've been working at my day job all day, sitting in a desk bound posture, and now I'm doing the same here, and it's starting to feel.
yeah,
Yeah,
man,
well, you
take a
don't
break.
want to cause
Sorry, what's that?
your issue to get worse.
Yeah, take a break.
I like weird feelings that I haven't had in it for a while, so let's wait. I'm gonna go through the chat first before doing that. How's everyone else's work going?
It's going. I'm pretty much just doing some last little checks to make sure I got all these gaps filled.
Yep. I got pretty much the work that I had planned on getting done tonight, and then some done, so I'm actually like doing alright.
Good.
Yeah. I
I'm
think after I'm done with this guy, I'm gonna work on the cyber bear.
gonna go back and
What's left on this? What's left on the cyber bear?
Actually, more gap filling.
The never-ending joy of gap filling.
Yep. And also I have to sculpt a tail. I chopped off the big bulbous Wolverine tail, as it just didn't look bare to me, and I was like, well, it's not supposed to, because the original model is supposed to be some kind of weird mutant Wolverine, so I gotta sculpt a little derpy bear tail on him too.
Wolverines.
Yep.
So I'm just going through the chat. Radon and Dan Kaplinger are talking about the big snow we're getting up this way. I'm also getting big snow in Canada land tonight. So much so that my office closed. Like we all have the capacity to work from home, so it's not really a big thing anymore. But they told us that the office will be closed tomorrow. Expecting a lot of snow tonight, a lot of snow tomorrow morning. I think it's like 10 or 20 centimeters or something like that. Radon's saying that in his area they're getting 6 inches. And he needs to be on the road at 6 a.m. Oh, that's rough, man. So are you gonna have to drive in it? Technician Sourwell found a random miniature of Mr. Fezziwig from Scrooge, Christmas Carol. Gonna make it an Imperial Noble. That's cool. I love snow, Radon. I wish I could be out in the snow right now, but I can't. I usually go for a walk when it's snowing a lot. Can't really do that right now, unfortunately. Electro Dust Bunny continues his streak of loving the weirdest models and saying the old orc Biovore looks good.
Uh,
I don't know which
okay.
one you're talking about. I don't know if he's talking about the second edition one or the third edition one. Second edition
Probably
one, I could maybe get behind. Third edition,
I like the second edition.
I guess
second
probably the third
edition
edition
one.
because it's got the big fists.
The third edition one was the one most explicitly that was supposed to be based off of orc
You're
DNA.
right. You are, Will. Probably that one. Yeah. Electro Dust Bunny stroked some controversy in the Discord this week, saying that he thinks that Juan Diaz demonettes are overrated, but I may have just doxed him, so maybe I shouldn't say. Dan Kaplinger says an arm swap in the third edition Tyrant Guard, and they are pretty reasonable. I never tried that. That's a good suggestion.
I think that model has some good bits, some good like parts.
Yeah.
That model
Tom,
had good ideas and like interesting, yeah, and good bits, but as a whole, it like was just kind of a little meh.
I still say that they made a mistake with the fourth edition Tyrant Guard by not making him look more like Roberto Cirillo's art,
well, they
which was a
tried.
lot more like the third edition Tyrant Guards.
They're similar, but not that cool.
Yeah, they're better.
Tom Wilson says, I like the Circle Ouroboros stuff from Hordes, but never actually bought any. Is that the stuff that looked like Tyranids?
No, that
Kind
was
of, yeah.
Everblight. The
Oh, yeah,
Ouroboros was
Circle with the werewolves.
Oh, the
yeah, werewolves.
werewolves. Oh, okay, gotcha. And when it comes to werewolves, I like the Ariadne stuff from Infinity. They got some werewolves, which are cool.
Yeah, those are pretty dope.
I always
Mausoleum
like
says, I do
the
big sculpt, little
Powers
sculpt, and digital, get good scrubs. And then he does an extensive IT session with Radon on why Radon's blender keeps crashing. Technician Sourwell also feels that physical sculpting is very relaxing. They're with you. Mausoleum is trolling you, Will.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, 100%.
Seen these, okay. Roblox legalized child labor. I don't know enough about Roblox. This is Tom Wilson.
I don't either. I know my brother used to play it when he was younger. I don't even know any. I know nothing about the game. I just know that the creator and Mr. Beast are possibly in talks to buy it, to buy TikTok.
Oh, and now Mausoleum is continuing to try and teach me stuff about vampires. He once made a 30-minute, no, 1-hour video explaining uh vampire lore just to me. Warhammer vampire lore. It was really cool, but
You must
apparently
understand the von Karstein family lineage.
something like that. His death rattle equals skeletons. Night is that night gaunt or night haunt? Night haunt equals ghosts. Flesh eater courts equals ghouls and beast vamps. Osiarch bone reapers equals lamed fortunate skeletons. Soul blight equals vampires. See, that's the flesh eater courts and soul blight's confusing me. The nursing on the handles makes me think of Games Workshop. Oh, Metalbeard Eric is saying the I think that's your sculpting tool. Well,
Oh,
I think nursing is a metal term. Eric is like super metallurgical. Like we got Dan Kaplinger who's like super like wood art, and then we've got Metalbeard Eric Christensen who's super metal art. So I think nursing is the the designs on the holder. Like I've got this. I'm fairly certain this is a Games Workshop sculpt. My God, it's like a Lacron wax carver, whatever blade. Maybe this stuff is the nursing. Let's see.
Yeah, that's kind of why I thought it was Games Workshop. Is my sculpting tools have that like kind of grip as well, but
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe whatever. Ooh,
Mausoleum.
Diana does have the most important post, which is to like, subscribe, and say something, notify, Patreon, affiliate, etc. if you enjoy the stream.
Thank you, Diana. Yes, if you enjoy this stream, please like, subscribe, say something, hit the notification thing, support on Patreon, or use the affiliate link that's in every stream to buy something from Endless Workshop, because it really helps. Thank you, Diana, for being our hype master. Mausoleum says that he was trying to help me grow my brand, bro, and that we should rename it the Gulf of Sculptron 9000. Eric Christensen is on board with Gulf of Sculptron.
I am too.
Let's do it. Look at that. Like, man, Google just like rolled over and did everything it wanted. Kind of sad. I guess it's just people showing their true colors. Oh wait, I'm on a Google platform right now. Oh crap.
Yeah. Prepare for Banhammer in 3, 2.
Tom Wilson says that has got to be the most niche podcast ever. I'm not sure what that was referring
Is it this one?
to. Maybe.
I gotta call it. So thank you, gents, for
Okay, let's call it. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Brodius, good to see you, buddy. You showed up. That's great. Yeah. All right, thanks. Thank you so much, Shane. Have a good evening. Will, thank you very much. You have a good evening as well.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And I will look forward to sculpting with you again soon.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks'
Steve.
time. And Will,
Yep.
soon I will be sculpting with you in living color. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, you, Faulty, and I are gonna get drunk and sculpt some
Oh
stuff,
my
and
God. You
that's
keep
not a
saying there are
euphemism.
other people in that session, Will. It's not just you, me, and Ironbeak, all right? I'm popular. I have people who want to learn things. I'll have you know. Anyway, we'll see.
We'll have one on me.
Thank you. Sorry you can't be there, Shane, but we'll make it work one day. We will have one on you. And everyone out there, look out for another stream. We're going to try and do another stream on early Saturday morning, Eastern time, kind of midday European time. It's going to be working on Dreadnought for my brother. We're trying to set that up, but I'm hoping that happens. So talk to you then. Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.